Maybe. We are live, so we'll go ahead and get started there. Okay.
What do you think?
Do something like that. Okay. Yep, we are live. Hi, Dr. Mark here at Natural Health. Hope you're having a great day. It's September, and we started talking about the top health-related deaths in the United States, or the illnesses that cause death in the United States. And of course, diabetes is right up there. I think it's number 3. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Diabetes is one of those issues, especially type 2. It's very easy to get rid of, but you have to look at the causes. So that's what we do that's different here at Natural Health. We're looking at causes. And speaking of natural health, again, we've been here for years. We're doing chiropractic and diet and supplement help, consultation for patients, and trying to get people to actually be healthy, not get people off the medications, but basically is disease management. So we're looking at a whole different paradigm here in health, and hoping that, and we're kind of seeing some of the cracks in this with the COVID thing, that the medical routine of just working on symptoms and jabs and surgeries, that's not really health. That's treatment. That's disease management. So we're looking at a different paradigm, looking at it as far as health in actual health, and finding underlying causes of problems, and then preventing the problem in the first place. So anyway, that's what we do that's different here. Diabetes is one of those things. Diabetes is just a degenerative disease of that system, of the pancreas, liver, of the system that deals with blood sugar. Insulin resistance is in there, which has to do with the cells. All kind of things are part of diabetes. That diagnosis being given to people with a A1C over, used to be 5.7, I think they moved up to 6.1 now since it's so prevalent. So they're playing numbers games, but that's how that works. So anyway, we're looking at getting the body to use sugar correctly, and then getting away from all the weight gain that people have because they're eating the wrong kind of foods. Your body can't handle it, so it just sticks it in the fat. And so that's what a lot of diabetics have problems with, is weight. So we'll go into a little more information here. Of course, I'm Dr. Mark, again, been here for a long time, and hope to be here a long time more. So we'll see how that works out. So the neurodegeneration causes, and in diabetes here, this is looking at Alzheimer's, which is they call type 3 diabetes. And so basically, again, coming from poor diets, I'm always amazed if you ever talk to people that live in nursing homes and those kind of places, and what the diets they're on. And again, anytime you're around any kind of an institution that deals with and gets any kind of government money, they're all going by the food pyramid. And that food pyramid is bought and paid for by the big cereal manufacturers, the processed food giants, all that kind of thing. We think it comes from the USDA, and it's all by scientific measures and blah, blah, blah. Well, no. The board members on that determining team were these board members on big ag and big pharma. So anyway, that's a whole other subject, so we'll try to keep away from that. So again, poor diet's a big part of type 3 diabetes, and people are, of course, that's where Alzheimer's, the name for that. Cholesterol and statins, again, neurodegeneration is caused by the lack of cholesterol. Cholesterol coats all of the nerves in the body. Your brain is 60% cholesterol by weight. When you use statins to force that number down, you're going to cause problems. And so statins, of course, very hard on the liver. Liver is the other organ that has to deal with sugars in the body. We know the pancreas produces insulin, but the liver has to break all that down, all the sugars down from the complex carbs in like potatoes or starches and things like that, and has to deal with the sugars, simple sugars. So a lot goes on with the liver. Statins, of course, are very harmful to the liver and can lead to type 2 diabetes. So type 2 diabetes is just acquired diabetes that happens over time for whatever reason. And if, again, for instance, a person is living their whole life and they get to be whatever age, and all of a sudden their A1C is above a certain number, well, that's diagnosed as diabetes. So again, what is the cause of that? Rather than just give them insulin, which makes the problem actually worse, because the body has a negative feedback loop that'll lower the body's ability to make insulin. Rather than look at that, we just got to go ahead and give more insulin. So in natural health, looking at the cause. Why is that going on? What is the body doing that's allowing that to happen? And we find a lot of that problem with medications and with, of course, the poor diets, very poor diets that go on. And I've been talking to a lot of patients today about the season we're coming into. We're coming into Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and then Valentine's Day and Easter. You know, the big holidays where everybody eats lots of junk and stuff like that. And then you wonder why you have diabetes, or the other top health problems, which are heart disease, cancer, and number 4, I won't go into today because it's a pretty deep subject, so we'll talk about that later. So again, a lot of these things come from high stress, poor sleep, all parts of what goes on and why the body is not able to heal itself. So high stress is like burning a candle at both ends. And high stress, you need to be getting a lot of good nutrition to handle the stresses. And a lot of times, there's just so much stress the body can't handle it, even with good nutrition and good diet. But most of the time, most people can. And then poor sleep, that's when the body heals itself. So if you're not sleeping very well at night, you're not healing. And so a lot of people have problems with that. I know the medical routine is a big CPAP machine. That's a big Medicare deal. And of course, it makes lots of money for somebody. But that's not really what's going on. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that are the reason why sleep is poor. And that's one of the things we work on quite a lot here at Natural Health, to make sure people are sleeping well and sleeping deeply, because we know that that's when the body heals itself. So it's so important to have that going on. So watching the boob tube, of course, you know, too much bad information and absolutely no good information there. So we could try to get people to get away from watching mainstream media on TV and the waste of time that is. And of course, there's EMF exposure with that too, like magnetic frequency exposure. That's all these things are the cause of degeneration, neurodegeneration, cause of why body has problems, pancreas, liver, whatever it is, what's going on there. And of course, being positive and active are ways of helping the body to get better. So there's so many good ways of helping the body to be better, and we forget about all those, and they're never focused on in mainstream medicine. It's always about, you know, let's diagnose this problem, let's treat this problem, never about diet, never about exercise, and all those kind of things. So that's what we deal with here at Natural Health, is looking at the other side of the coin of keeping the body healthy, getting the body healthy, and preventing the body from having problems. I think that's enough for me tonight. Just a quick little thing on diabetes, but diabetes is real simple, just a matter of, and I didn't really talk much about type 1 diabetes, which more is a genetic thing, but there's also reasons for that too that we know how to find. So we help people with that too. A little tougher, but still able to be worked with and keep that from getting worse at least. So we're able to help with that. So anyway, enough for me. Don't forget, we do have free consultations here for those that aren't really sure what we're doing here. You can call and get a free consultation, and we'll kind of show you around once you see what we do here. No torture chambers or anything like that. And then we have a lot of our videos on our website at naturalhealthquincy.com, where you can see what we're doing in here, or what's going on, what the techniques are we're using here. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Chip, lots more good information, and we'll see you next week. We'll talk about another top health-related disease or illness causing death in the U.S. Dr. Chip.
All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay. So, again, I'm Dr. Chip, and we will continue the discussion here. Again, still this month is top health-related diseases or illnesses, so or deaths, you could say. So, again, we want to make sure to cover this topic. Tonight is diabetes. So again, going back to it again all the time here, is that a lot of times we think of illnesses or diseases as something that we catch, some bug that's out there that is coming to get us. But again, there's always two sides of the coin. There's always two ways of seeing things. And so when we talk about nerve issues, again, kind of associated with diabetes, we have to think about the kinds of stress that are on the body. Now, like we said, is that there is one way of seeing it, more of attacking the bug or illness or disease or whatever, or you can actually build up and maintain a good healthy body, or you'd say brain and body. And so again, the three kinds of stress, again, stress is inevitable, it's going to be there, but it's how we can adapt to that stress. And that is the most important factor, is our adaptability. And so again, the first one here is a physical or trauma. Again, just like that, it's more of you can't you'd say work out 24/7, 365, because your body is not going to be able to handle that load of stress. It's not going to be able to adapt. That's why you have to rest, recover, repair. Now again, that's other factors there too. You're not going to fall off your bike all the time or all that stuff there too. We want to make sure that you're able to get patched up. And going back to that too is that's why emergency care is so important. Again, even car accidents or again falling off your bike or anything like that. Again, they're there to help you in that emergency. Whether if you're having blood coming out or a broken bone, all that. That's what that care is for so well. But when it comes to health, that's kind of the other side of that coin. Is that you can't have health if you are only addressing the thing that's causing the illness. So we want to make sure that flip that coin there a little bit to make sure that we're actually helping your body, our brain and body, to heal more efficiently, back to good health. And so again, nutritional and toxins. Again, we go back to what kind of foods are we eating? Are we eating good whole foods? Are we actually replenishing our bodies well with good hydration food? But then the toxins there too is that when we are not able to adapt to the environmental or toxins or anything that's going on there, that's when we can have issues. And so again, just like you would say for instance, coffee. You can have a drink of coffee or a glass of, a cup of coffee or 2 cups, or some people drink a pot, but that's a lot going on there. But again, if you were going to drink 5 pots of coffee, that's too much stress on the body. Again, the coffee it's caffeine, and caffeine is not so much a health thing. It's actually something that the body's trying to get rid of, and so that's kind of more of that effect there. So it kind of acts similar to a poison, you would say, but it's not so poisonous. It's more of just how our body's able to adapt to it. And so again, it's important that we're not overly loading ourselves with different toxins, all that. Again, we're able to watch what foods we eat, different things that we use, such as deodorants and shampoos and detergents. So again, just being aware of that stuff can help. And then we go back to the emotional and thoughts. And we're going to dive into a little bit more of all of these here too. But the emotion and thoughts there is that when our body is perceiving stress in the environment, that's when we start to notice that feeling. So you could say the emotion of worry is that you can tell worry from you'd say happy, because you feel it. That's a feeling in the body. And the emotion, again, it's just that energy, the energy in motion passing through your body. So you can have high states of emotion. Again, that's okay. We just have to be able to regulate ourselves in order for our bodies to get back to a healing mode or healing state. And of course, too, thoughts. Again, we're not going to always have positive thoughts, but it's good to be aware of the negative thoughts and to not necessarily fight them, but to be aware of them. And so again, then we can kind of help clean that up there too. So nutritional wise, again, whole foods, lower sugar, limit the process, and then water intake. And again, like we said, is that the sugar with diabetes is that we typically know that when we have too much sugar, the pancreas has to work a lot harder. It's pumping in insulin into the body. And again, the body is an amazing machine. It knows how to adapt very well. But the sugar amount that people are having nowadays is a lot for the body to process. And so like Dr. Mark explained there too, it's not only the pancreas, but that's a factor that we typically that's involved there. And so insulin is just insulin is a chemical that is made in the body. It's a protein-derived chemical that it's helping your body to, you would say, mitigate or minimize the sugar in your blood. And so that's important because if you have too much sugar in your blood, your body, you would say, passes out because it's it's getting too much. And that's why you could kind of go into a diabetic coma or anything like that, because you're getting too much into the bloodstream. And so that's what the insulin is doing. It's helping to take it out of the blood and put it into the tissues of the body, making sure that we're not getting too much. And so that's why the body is very, very good at what it does. But again, just like anything, if we have too much of it, if we're overly stressing it out and it's not able to come back with good support, even like nutritional support, then again, it's just too much for the body to handle. And that's what the adaptability is called. And then again, limit the process. And again, we go back to, whole foods, again, found in nature. Your body's able to absorb it well, utilize it well, process it well. The process, again, high in a lot of, different fats, different sugars, different salts, all that too. So it's just a lot for our bodies to process at times. But again, just like anything, if our bodies are able to adapt very well, then again, here and there we can have those things and to a minimal degree. And then again, water intake, again, very important for hydration for even all the cells of our body to able to function properly. So again, physical movement. Again, this is important because we typically think that metabolism is all about how we digest our foods or the stomach or anything that involves digestion is metabolism. But actually our muscles and our body is a very important factor in the metabolism of different, say, calories and anything like that. And so that's why they stress to actually, instead of running all the time, to actually work out your muscles. Resistance training is actually even good for people that have issues with metabolism or diabetes there too. Recreation, fun, play. Sometimes again too is that when our body is able to have fun, when we're doing things we like to do, it actually puts our nervous system in a mode of healing, repairing, being able to digest foods properly, all that stuff there too. So that's why that's important, recreation, fun, and playing. Sleep and rest. Of course, if we're not sleeping or resting our bodies, again, just like anything, it's not allowing our bodies to adapt as efficiently. And so again, this is just more of a support to where our bodies are able to handle things better. And then new information, that's more of helping to actually help our brains to wire in different ways to where when we learn different information, we're actually creating neural pathways that's allowing our brains to actually grow rather than to degenerate or anything like that, atrophy. So again, that's why it's always good to, again, do different things like that. New activities, new information, all that, like reading, even playing an instrument, different classes, all that too. And then again, going back to thoughts and emotions here. When we get overloaded, again, like anything, we want to make sure that we're able to adapt to it. And so like we go back to the physical part, when somebody goes to work out, when they're starting out, they're not going to max load the whatever weights they're going to use and just try to have at it. That would actually be very detrimental, and it can cause very serious effects. So just like anything too, you would say that when you're kind of going about your day here, you will have different things going on, stress and all that too. But when you start learning different things, when you're able to kind of get experience different things, then you can kind of get used to it, and that once perceived thing that was so hard to do at the beginning is now second nature, and you're just kind of getting used to it. So again, that's why it's important not to perceive things as so much things are being overloaded, but actually to be able to see that some things that I did back in the past I thought were a lot. Again, it's second nature. So again, it's just making sure that we're kind of taking things one at a time. Fear and worry. Of course, there's a lot of studies, a lot of science and information about how fear and worry affects the body and how that can be detrimental to the systems. And so again, we talk about health for the body when we are, you would say, indulging in fear and worry too much. It's actually taxing the body, and then our body is not able to adapt to different things. And so again, that can cause health-related issues such as, you would say, nerve damage or nerve diseases or diabetes there too. Brain and nervous system exhaustion, of course, kind of going back to these different things here too. But that's why it's important for, you would say, ourselves to regulate better, take some breaths throughout the day, being able to regulate our nervous system. Because if we're not doing that and we're pushing the limits too much, even days, weeks, months, we're taxing the body, and then that is when something goes. So when our body's not able to adapt, that's when we have pain, symptoms, all that too. Now I put laughter here. Laughter, of course, is not so, you'd say mainstream, but laughter has a lot of good not side effects, but benefits. Because laughter, again, is one of those states where when you're laughing, your nervous system is actually able to regulate better. And it gets you back into more of an ease, more of a relaxed state. And so again, there's studies on that. If you like to look at it more, you can simply put it in the browser there, Google all that too, you can look it up. But laughter, of course, too, it just helps our body to be in that you would say that parasympathetic mode, that rest and digest. And so when it's able to do that well, we're able to process sugars better. And of course, there are studies to show that can help diabetes. And so that's, again, important for ourselves there too, is that even though we have busy lives, there's a lot of stuff going on, we got to at least be able to sit down and, you would say, take things a little lightly. Have a little enjoyment there, laugh when we can. They say laughter is the best medicine, but it's showing that laughter at least helps in some aspects there too. So I think that's, we got one more here. Again, going back to the two sides of the coin here. So again, we either think about preventing illness, or we want to actually acquire health. And so when we talk about disease or illness, another way to say that is a dis-ease. And so when our body and brain are in ease, that means that we're able to be healthy. But when we're at a dis-ease, that means our body is at or unbalanced. It's not functioning well. It's not able to have good health. And so what we can say is that when we have chronic stress that causes an unbalanced body, when we're having that chronic stress all the time, our body's not able to adapt to it. That's when our body becomes unbalanced, and that's when we show signs and symptoms of the other stuff there too. And so you can say is that an improper brain function equals dis-ease, and body system dysfunction, of course, equals dis-ease. And so again, when our brain and body are not connected well, when our nervous system is not regulating well, when the systems of our body aren't able to function well because of the brain signaling the body, that is when we have illness or dis-ease. And so it's always good to understand that too, is that when we're able to support the systems, when we're able to regulate ourselves better, we're actually able to promote health, promote healing. And again, I think a lot of times too is that, or in the vast majority right now, we're starting to understand a lot more different ways for health and healing of our bodies. And it's because of all the stuff that's going on right now. And so I think, again, people are waking up to a lot of the possibilities and opportunities for health. And so, again, we've definitely like to research more about the health, and we're here to help you when we can. And so, again, I think that is it. So you can always follow us at Natural Health Quincy IL at Facebook, YouTube, Brighteon, and Instagram. We're located at 2000 Jefferson Street in Quincy, Illinois. You can always subscribe to our email list at naturalhealthquincy.com. And the number is 217-228-2040. So again, thank you so much for watching. We definitely want to keep giving good information out there, and just to really help you guys understand that there are more options out there, there are more ways, and it's not always that there's one system is better than the other. And so whatever we like results, we like to make sure that people are doing well. And again, whatever it takes to get you healthy. So have a good rest of the week, and we'll stay tuned for more of these health-related topics this month. So thank you very much, and have a great rest of the week. Thank you.
Are the topics posted on one of those things?
I will get to there. Yeah, that's okay.